What a beautiful day the Lord has made. It is absolutely gorgeous out here. Sheesh. Wow. What's wrong with it? Ooh. What's going on, people? Got a different video for you guys today. Well, still a modification video. Not on that guy. He won't be getting any love. That guy in the garage right there, he's not getting any love. Yeah, I think the most I'm gonna do to that guy is wash it. Won't be doing anything to that one. However, I do have to do something I've been promising my daughter for too long. So we're gonna hook up her car. We're gonna do something to her car, something that she wants on her little Rogue. So, you know, we're in the Midwest. Well, I don't know if you guys know, I live in the Midwest. Midwest winters can be pretty brutal. And remote starts in this area are absolutely worth their weight in salt. Needed, required. I don't see how people get around without having remote start. Highly recommend them if you live in this area, deal with this weather, and you gotta have it. So today we're gonna be installing a remote start system by Fortin. It's a plug and play solution. Really simple to install, at least based on the research that I've done. There is one programming piece, but two programming pieces you have to do to the brain. 3, programming to the car, program it itself, initial software, program it to the car, and then if needed, we have to do an decoding, another process where you actually plug it into the computer and do something else to it. But let's get started, man. We're gonna go ahead and put this thing in. Let's take a look at what we got. So here's the solution that we have. This is the little brain. This is just the T-horners. This allows this process to be super simple. As we install this, you'll see just how easy it is. There's another piece in the house, and once we get to, if we need to do the decoding, I'll show you that piece when we go in and do the decoding. All right, so let's get started. All right, guys. So the first thing we need to do is pop off this panel. Pop this thing off. All right. So now we need to take off all these clips behind these panels. This panel from here. Take these clips off. Now we need to attach test areas here. We got that down and out of the way. So now you have to take out these 4 screws and then remove this brace so we can get to what we need to get to. All right, this brace lifts up and off like this and out of the way. All right, so now we need to take this guy out. We got 1 screw holding it in. Oh, 10mm. We're gonna slide this guy out like so. And we don't need to disturb this too much. We'll set it flat like this. These out of the way for a moment. And then go through the process. So what's the process we're gonna start with? Basically, for each one of these plugs that we have here, we have a T-harness, all right? What's a T-harness? A T-harness allows us to add an interrupt in between the existing connection without losing the connection. For example, we'll take the male plug from here, plug it into, and all of them are color coded, the male plug into this female plug, and then this one will go into where this one comes out. That gives us the constant connection. However, it adds the necessary interrupt for the alarm system. All right, so let's go through, and as I already stated, each one of these guys are color coded, so you just can't, it's kind of hard to screw up. So we're going to start with, I'm going to start with the one that's furthest in the back, which would be hardest to get to. Let's go through the process, start pulling these out, and then replacing. We'll start with the one in the back furthest. Let me just screw down. So that's all for this device. The next thing we need to do is for the OBD2. So this plug here interrupts the OBD2. So we're gonna plug this one. Come here, guy. We're gonna plug this in here. So this is the actual OBD2. I'm gonna plug that in here. Make sure that's the right one, going the right way, yeah. That's a click. And we're gonna take this and fit this back into the panel, right? So now that we got this in, let's just slide this thing in and kind of out of the way. Give us some space to do what we need to do. Now we need to connect the brain and finish the test, make sure that we are where we need to be. So now we have to go through the programming process. So to do this, we need to take the brain here, and we need to plug in the 4-pin, right? But in order to do that, we need to hold down this button first. We plug in the 4-pin. Now we gotta let this thing go through its process, and we can't touch it as it's going through the process. So once we plug this in, we bring it to the blue light. Now we can connect all the other ones, and also being very careful not to touch the button again. So we're gonna start with the 20-pin. Now that we got that plugged in, now we just turn the ignition on, and just the accessory, and wait for this thing to do its learning. Blue light's gonna flash. Now we turn it to the off position, and now we should see there we go. That's what we want to see. From here, we want to disconnect the brain, take it in the house and do the decoding. And I show you that process right now. So here is the flash link decoder, right? This is what we need to program, or excuse me, to program the brain. So I already formatted it with this initially. Then we got the programming and it did some learning from the car's computer. Now we need to decode it. And this is going to require this device plus connected to a PC. Please note, this thing does not work with a Mac. You have to use a Windows-based PC to make this work. All right. So this is already plugged in to the PC. So now what we need to do is plug this in, and then we can start the process, right? So as I plug this in, I'll show you guys the screen of what this looks like, and it plugs in that same black wire, 4-pin wire here to communicate, all right? So we're gonna plug that in, and then we're gonna show you what the software looks like on the screen. All right, so now we're gonna plug this in. Now that it's plugged in, it's gonna detect it. Awesome. So we're going straight to the decrypt process. Fortin provides you with software. This application, you have to create an account. It doesn't cost you anything. Once you create an account, it allows you to download the software, and that which allows you to do all this stuff that we need to do to complete the process, the decrypting, the formatting, the whole nine. Now I'm only doing this for one. However, having this software and having this account, you know, I can literally do any one of these devices. I'm doing it specifically for my daughter's Rogue, but this, you know, allows you to work on or do formatting for any make model that Fortin supports. All right, so we're going to send data over to the device. As you can see here, this is automatically checked. It says automatic update EVO-ALL when ready, and it's defaulted. So we're going to let it run. Process is complete. Now it's my understanding that you don't want to get in the habit of trying to decrypt these things multiple times. Once it's done, it's done. So let's move to the installation process and wrapping it up in the car and then testing. Okay, so now we're back in the vehicle. We're going to plug in all the pins back into the brain. At this point, we pretty much have completed the process, right? So what we're gonna do now is test. I'm not gonna put all this stuff back together before we test. However, I will connect this harness and also the OBD2 port, put it back into place. But I'm not gonna button this thing up until we actually have and ensure that this thing works. All right, so give me just a second. All right, guys, so with this solution that we just put in, I haven't tested it, so we're about to test it now. What makes it unique is it allows us to start this vehicle or test this vehicle or start the vehicle with the factory key. So let's test it. Now that process is literally just hitting the lock button 3 times and seeing if it starts. Let's see what happens. That was lackluster. Let's try that again.